passions flowing, dreams start glowing. Your best be ready, heartbeat steady, cause the air gets heavy. The game is here, no time for fear. Can you hear the cheers? Yeah.
This is Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights, presented by John Wayne Service Company.
You are looking live at Dub Ferris Stadium in San Antonio, where it is Week 10. We're wrapping up the regular season of Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights, presented by John Wayne Service Company. It's Stevens and O'Connor. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a chilly night here at Dub Ferris, where we wrap up the regular season. Still very much some playoff implications in this one, joined by my broadcast partner, Chuck McAtenick. We're almost there for playoff time, and one team needs to win and get in.
Yeah, that would be the Stevens Falcons. This is going to be a fun ball game tonight, Don. We got elements, we got rain, we got wind, we got chill, and we got two teams possibly that could come out of this ball game and both be headed to the playoffs. Of course, you'd expect OConnor to be in a position. They've already punched their ticket to get in. For Stevens, it's simple. They got to win to get in, and if they don't win, they're going to need some help. They could still get in via some other scenarios, but if they handle their own business, then what they have right in front of them will be theirs.
That's exactly right. OConnor has already clinched the number 2 seed, the number 1 big school seed. And Stevens, as you said, they want to get in tonight. And this young man told me pregame, we're going to win. That's Eli Alexander, who had 3 interceptions last week alone.
Yeah, he sure did. Huge ball game and been a great season. This young man is a ball hawk. He's leading this defense, and Stevens building this program back up with its defense. This young man is going to be a focal point tonight in trying to slow down that OConnor offense.
As for OConnor, we've been talking about this young man. It seems like he's like a 5th-year pro. We've been talking about him since he was a freshman. Logan Parr, one of the top recruits in the entire country.
Well, it's interesting, right? It's like, when is this guy running out of eligibility? Because, yeah, he started every game since his freshman year, but take away the football player, you got a heck of a young man right there. And, Don, what's going to be really interesting is in about 2 months, this guy's going to be playing football at the University of Texas. So you know he's savoring his last moments as a high school player.
Well, we start the season burning up on the sidelines, and we end the season with a chill. Let's go down to the sidelines for our Gamez law firm Game Time Weather and Alex Garcia. Alex?
Hey, what an understatement. Chill is the word. I mean, we're looking at a wind chill here, about 41 to 40 degrees, 22-mile-an-hour wind, and it's drizzling. All of those factors are going to be important in tonight's game. And for all the fans up there, and if you're planning to come, bring the thermals.
Okay, thanks a lot, Alex. Meanwhile, Chuck, up here, we've got our space heater, chili on the grill, nice and cozy up here in the press box. Hey, when we come back, it'll be our Taco Cabana keys to the game. Stay with us. Stevens and OConnor on the CW35.
You're watching Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights, presented by John Wayne Service Company.
Welcome back to a rainy, drizzly, cold Dub Ferris Stadium, where we've got Stevens and OConnor right now. Time for our Taco Cabana keys to the game. And Chuck, Stevens' big key, win, and they're in. But what do they have to do that?
Well, they got to contain both the quarterback and the running back for OConnor. Both of those guys really good players, especially Zion Taylor, the OConnor running back. Stevens has also got to move the ball, thereby shortening this game and keep OConnor's offense off the field. And then lastly, they've got to forget that they're playing the perennial Titans of 28-6A, the OConnor Panthers. They've got to be the Stevens Falcons, be who they are, and hope that's good enough.
Here's their coach, Anthony Boykin.
Yeah, it's been exciting week. It's November football, a little chill in the air, and the kids know that it's exciting to have something to play for at this time of year. It's been a few years since Stevens has had this opportunity, so our preparation has gone well this week.
Meanwhile, OConnor, they are locked into their playoff position, but they want to be playing well going into the playoffs. Chuck, what are their keys?
Yeah, similarly, they want to keep the Stevens quarterback, the young freshman in the pocket, also control the ball and the clock. And then lastly, they cannot look ahead to the postseason. Yes, O'Connor's in, but this is a big ball game tonight. You've got a team coming at you that's trying to punch its ticket to the postseason, and you got to be on guard for that as well.
Coach David Molesky, a proven winner, knows they're just getting started.
Well, I think we have a mature football team, and we've talked to the kids about, going into the playoffs, it's important to be playing well. And it's not who you're playing or anything like that, but it's about how you do things. And so we feel like our kids understand that. And, we kind of felt like the last few weeks, really since our loss against Brandeis, we've really been doing some good things, and we want to continue to do that tonight.
Oh, the elements are in play. When we come back, we'll have our national anthem, and we'll kick it off. Stevens and O'Connor from Ferris Stadium.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by Associated Collision Center, serving San Antonio since 1976. You're watching Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights, presented by John Wayne Service Company.
Welcome back to Ferris Stadium. It is good to be indoors. It's time to have our national anthem, and we'll turn it over to the PA man, Lou Calusa.
Now entering the field is the color guard from the 20,082nd Air Force Junior ROTC from Sandra Day O'Connor High School. Commanding and carrying the American flag, Cadet Captain Elizabeth Henson. Carrying the Texas flag, Cadet Staff Sergeant Jaden Mogg. The American Guard, Cadet Captain Marcus Breed. And the Texas Guard, Cadet Tech Sergeant Christian Marta. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please be seated. This Monday, our nation comes together to honor our veterans and to commemorate the legacy of profound service and sacrifice they have upheld in pursuit of a more perfect union. At this time, we would like to ask all veterans, as well as all active duty members of the United States Armed Forces, to stand and be recognized. Through their steadfast defense of America's ideals, our service members have ensured our country still stands strong, our founding principles still shine, and nations around the world know the blessings of freedom. As we offer our sincere appreciation and respect to our veterans, to their families, to those who are still in harm's way, and to those we have laid to rest, let us rededicate ourselves to serving them as well as they have served the United States of America. Thank you all for your service to this great country. If you have not yet done so, please rise and remove your hats to honor America and the men and women serving in our armed forces around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Thanks for watching the Thursday Night Lights pregame show. Stay tuned for tonight's first half kickoff.
Welcome back. You can see the pain on the face of Anthony Boykin. It is wet and it is cold here at Ferris Stadium, but we're going to have football because there's no lightning, Chuck, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, everybody bundled up, and you got to like it. Looking around in the stands, you see umbrellas as the skies have opened up here, and you see some young people woefully underdressed for the occasion, not heeding the warnings from their parents to dress up and bundle up. You got to love it, man. There is a lot of stuff going on with the elements. You've got rain. You've got a really strong breeze looking at your TV screen going from left to right. And it is football night in November.
Tonight's first half kickoff brought to you by the San Antonio Police Department. Visit sapdcareers.com as Eli Alexander takes the ball across the 20. We have a flag down on the very first kick of the game. They've got a face mask on that one.
You out there grabbing everything tonight, trying to get a handle on something.
Taking a look at tonight's crew of the officials. The referee is Xavier Garcia. He'll have the call here.
There are 2 penalties on the play. Offsides on the kicking team. Personal foul, face mask on the kicking team. Offsides is declined. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
All right, so Stevens will have better field position as we bring in Zach Hedrick. Zach, how you doing down there, bud?
What's up, Don? It's great down here, let me tell you. I mean, it's like Chuck said, the rain's coming down, the wind's whipping a little bit, but it's great football weather. I mean, watching the teams run onto the field, they're psyched about it all. So bring it on. Let's go. Let's have some football tonight.
We are going to do that right now as Stevens lines up, as they'll spot the ball at the 36. We'll get our first look at KK Brashears, thrown for over 1,000 yards this year, including 15 touchdowns. And the first snap, wet and tough to handle, but it's Brandon Lee straight ahead for a couple of yards. Lee has 194 yards rushing on the year. As we take a look at the Stevens offensive starting lineup, their right tackle, big number 71, Chris Bowling, is a returning first-team all-district performer in this very tough district. He's also going to be playing in our San Antonio Sports All-Star game. Brashears, the quarterback, and Lee and Michael Plant will get most of the carries. And you'll see a lot of passes thrown towards number 2, Chris Jones, the senior wide receiver, who has 7 touchdowns on the season. Second down and 9 for Brashears. This time he hands again to Lee. He picks up just a couple. And he's brought down by Max Arguello, the senior safety, in on the tackle. And Chuck, big number 70 up front, Bryson Greer, is a young man that we've seen also for a few years now, who is a very impressive football player.
Yeah, I mean, we could have easily spotlighted him at the beginning of the game. Same kind of guy as Logan Parr. Quality football player, obviously, but even better kid, and he's going to play at the Naval Academy, so tells you where he's at with the books as well. I mean, just an all-around, all-American guy.
Unanimous first-teamer last year, also going to play in the All-Star game as Brashears fires, and it's caught for a first down. Nice completion to Jeremiah Mestri-Elliott, who picks up a Gold's Gym first down.
Yeah, and I don't want to undersell this enough in terms of what Brashear is looking at, in terms of what he's got to battle, not only against the OConnor defense, but I mean, it is a gale force win that Stevens is having to play through on offense, marching right into it. So that was a really nice pitch and catch to start this football game.
Yeah, that win right in their face as they go to midfield. A hand again right up the middle to Lee. Kyler Goodman, the first man there, the linebacker junior from OConnor.
You see the sheer size of this OConnor defense. They are really going to bow up, even more so with the wind at their back, to try to stop the run. So it's going to be very important to see if Stevens can also move the ball in the air. And it is going to be difficult, no question about it, with this wind howling like it is.
2nd and 11 for Brashears. Lee goes in motion, and it's a quarterback keep all the way. A nice gain of about 4 or 5. for the freshman quarterback. K.K. Brashears, just a freshman.
Talking to the coaching staff this week, especially Anthony Boykin, who said, you know, I've been coaching for 25 years and I've never had a freshman quarterback. But this young man has kind of made his way onto the scene and kind of forced himself into the situation here. And we'll get into that as the night goes on, but absolutely mature as you can be for a 14-year-old.
3rd down and 8, first big conversion time, little fake Jeff sweep. And he is stuffed. Number 45, Jesse Reyes, the first man there to make the tackle, along with Brandon Garza. We called his name a lot last year. And Stevens will have to punt it away. It's 4th down and 9 right at midfield.
You know, these punts are going to be really interesting too, because I'm telling you, before the game, watching even the punt teams try to snap the ball, it's not going to be a factor snapping it back right here for Stevens, but man, I'll tell you what, it is tough to cut this win tonight.
Jackson Schramm doing the honors. Gets off a short kick. Carson Jones says get away from it. Takes an O'Connor bounce at about the 44, and we're back in 30 seconds.
Airport parking has never been this easy. Whether you use one of our 2 economy lots with free shuttle service, our long-term or short-term parking garage, or if you're a member of our guaranteed parking program, airport parking has never been this easy. Take advantage of our Park Assist app and know the availability of parking spaces before you leave home. Fly easier, fly San Antonio.
O'Connor going to the air on 1st down, and almost completing it was David Dodd, their star quarterback, looking for Carson Jones. Carson Jones, his favorite target, with 39 receptions for over 500 yards and 4 touchdowns on the season. And Coach David Molesky wanted to air it out right away on 1st down with the wind at his back.
Yeah, I mean, you saw what happened with that punt. I mean, you essentially pick up, if you're Stevens, 7 yards of field position on that punt because the wind absolutely stone cold killed that punt.
Dodd's going to play in our all-star game. And here's Zion Taylor. Zion Taylor, one of the most dangerous running backs in all of San Antonio. Had 218 yards and 5 touchdowns last week against Brennan. Was dinged a little bit. They thought he might have a little bit of a concussion issue, but he's good to go.
Yeah, had his best game of the year. Coach Molesky was telling me last week when he racked up all those yards. This guy, man, what a player. What a player. 2-year starter, and it seems like a guy we call a lot on Friday nights doing highlights.
Here's Dodd on 1st and 10. Here's Taylor again cutting back and picks up a few before being wrangled down after a gain of about 3 or 4.
And you can already see with these elements, I mean, ball security obviously is going to be tantamount in this game, but you really got to take advantage when you've got the wind at your back.
Taking a look at that O'Connor offensive line, of course led by Zion Taylor, 844 yards, 12 touchdowns on the season. Taylor again up the middle. See how quick he is at changing direction. Joshua Gonzalez brings him down. He's a 2nd-team All-District performer from a year ago.
It was a really good job by the Stevens defense staying at home. Looked like the play was going to go one way and went the other. Stevens was equal to the task now here, forcing a 3rd down.
3rd down and 5 for the Panthers. And they'll trust Taylor to get it, and he does. And look at him fight off the defender. 2 or 3 more, and then use his strength to get inside the U.S. Army red zone down to about the 16-yard line.
And you see a little bit of everything in Zion Taylor's game right here. Watch him wait and set up his blocks. Then once he gets into the open field, man, he's got really good functional speed. Picks up the sticks and a fresh set for the O'Connor Panthers.
Gold's Gym 1st down inside the U.S. Army red zone. It's Taylor again, and he is really quick laterally on almost every handoff. When he gets the football, he goes sideways looking for the place where he wants to go. Luis Paz III with the tackle.
Yeah, Stevens' defensive line's done a really good job all year with Mejia, Garcia, and Gonzalez up front. And they stack them with some really good linebackers in their 3-4 scheme. This is going to be an interesting battle all night with the girth and the physicality of the very talented O'Connor offensive line against this Stevens defensive front.
2nd and 9, look out, Taylor. Again, changing direction, putting his head down across the 20, down to about the 18. Aiden Espinoza on the tackle. Taking a look at our Go Public smile cam, and I don't know if there's really much to smile about other
that's
than
why they're turning their backs.
Can we change it to grimace cam tonight?
Yeah, they're still having fun. Made it out to the old ballpark on a Thursday night.
3rd and 3. Zion Taylor getting a lot of the workload on this drive. Gets it again, bounces it outside, and look at him change direction again. Getting close to the stick there for a first down.
Yeah, Joshua Gonzalez, really good backside pursuit there, and really not a whole lot of space for Zion Taylor to slip through right there. And Stevens has forced a 4th down here on O'Connor's opening drive. And I'll tell you, kicking field goals from this distance will not be a problem. We were watching the O'Connor kicker before the game, kicking with the wind at his back and knocking him down from 50.
Taylor, this time he's got a couple of Falcons all over him, and he's not going to be able to get away from the defense this time. And getting there first was Dre McCullough. Nice play by that young man. He's a senior, has an interception already on the season, and Dre coming up big.
Yeah, Darius Ellis also coming up from his linebacker spot to help blow that up, but just too many Falcons in the backfield and a really big stand here for Stevens to start this ball game.
So it's the Falcons with the football. A nice run across the 25 to the 26 by Michael Plante.
Yeah, you know, Stevens goes by committee with Brandon Lee and Plante. Both these guys versatile. They're both really good at catching the ball out of the backfield as well. So we're going to see both of these fellas tonight. Both seniors, good leaders as well. I'll tell you, if you're throwing the ball tonight, it has got to be on a line. It has got to be fast. Anything up in the wind is going to get destroyed.
Trouble, getting out of trouble and doing a nice job is Quali Kendall. Check that. That was Brashears, freshman quarterback. Jesse Reyes, the linebacker on the tackle.
Jesse Reyes really having a nice year and just a really good, solid high school football player. Doing a good job to squash that before he could pick up the sticks. You see Stevens, what they like to do, go to the line of scrimmage and then a lot of look-at-me stuff on the sideline to get the play called in. They are facing 3rd and manageable.
Hand off again, straight ahead, tripped up, and the diving forward is Michael Plante.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to mark him a little short as if his knee came down early.
He thought he got it.
Yeah, I thought he squirted through there, but I'll tell you what, man, it is tough to cut. It's tough to run. The rain has let up a little bit compared to when we started the ball game, but Stevens is going to have to punt this football away. But again, I mean, if you're punting the ball into this wind, you have got to kick it low and kick it away from the return guy and hope you get a good bounce to try to tilt the field.
Again, last time the punt didn't gain him much field position. This one's an end-over-end kick that's going to bounce at the 50 and is going to be at least handled. It's not returned by Carson Jones, but he takes a knee there right at about the 39-yard line. We're scoreless in the first quarter. Stevens and Falcons coming back on TNL.
Welcome back to Dub Ferris Stadium. A little less than 2 minutes in the first quarter. Still no score. Joined now by Mr. Riley Walker from San Antonio Sports. And Riley came prepared. He brought an umbrella.
That's right.
Smart man.
Came prepared with the umbrella. Did not come prepared with the bald fade. A little cold right now, but doing great otherwise.
Well, and so in your playing days, I mean, did you play in anything like this? I mean, gale force winds, chilling rain.
Oh yeah, I mean, being a wide receiver too, it was the worst because you're out on the field all day just blocking, you know, in this weather. But you know, it looks like the kids are having a good time. From what I can tell, I know the O'Connor team was pretty hyped to play, so you know, we'll see how it goes.
Big giant slip and slide. Well, and despite, you know, the elements tonight, there's still some pretty good all-stars on both these teams that are going to be playing in January.
Absolutely. You know, we got 2 all-stars on the field right now on the offense with O'Connor, and we got 2 on the defense, it looks like, for Stevens. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 1 on defense and then 1 on offense. So we got a few all-stars tonight. You know, I'm very excited to see them play. The game's going to be January 4th in the Alamo Dome right after the All-American Bowl, and you can get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. They're doing a 2-for-1 ticket price.
Well, and so the good thing about the Alamo Dome is rain, shine, sleet, snow, whatever, the game's going to be nice and toasty.
Yeah, it's a dome, thank goodness. You know, we've had some worse weather before, but nothing the dome can't handle.
Well, Riley, thanks so much for braving the elements one more time with us this season, and we'll see you at the All-Star game then. Guys, back up to you.
Thanks a lot, Zach, and could tell right there that David Dodd was having a hard time finding the ears on that one because of the slippery conditions here. Then he tried to heave it up, and you can also tell that it's not just wet, it's the cold too. He's trying to keep his left hand warm. He's got a hand warmer. That's hard to do when it's also wet.
Well, the thing that stood out to me was that Parr, Broke, Percy, Tristan, and Atkins up front built him a wall. He was still able to right himself and then at least have a chance at the back end of that play.
Taylor, again, doing a great job to find a seam in the middle of a host of Falcon defenders. Joshua Gonzalez finally there to make the tackle. It's not enough for a first down, so the Panthers will run out the punting unit, and we'll see Josh Brown kick it away. Eli Alexander dropping back deep. That young man we profiled at the front of the game, our John Wayne Player of the Week for his 3-interception performance last week. Brown's kick is high. It's not very long. It's going to bounce, but take a great O'Connor bounce. It's almost too good. Into the end zone. That wind threw that ball right into the end zone. Talk about your wind disadvantage in that situation. And we'll be back in a scoreless game with 13 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Welcome back. Scoreless. 11 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Change of possession. Stevens has it, and big Bryson Greer manhandling the offensive line for Stevens to make the tackle. And that's a grown man. Has been for years here. Playing at the next level, as Chuck said, at the Naval Academy. And checking on his teammate. We've got a Panther down. That's also going to be the end of the first quarter. So we'll go to commercial break. We'll check on that young man, and we'll come back in a scoreless game as we start the second quarter when we return. We are back here at Ferris Stadium as they were helping Jack Jenkins off the field. Young man from outstanding player, Jack Jennings, a first-team all-district performer and our Scholar Athlete of the Week, who is not putting any weight at all on that left leg. And that is just unfortunate because he is a big-time part of this football program. As a leader and a player. Taking a look there at Bryson Greer, who's a player profile from the U.S. Army as well. As we talked about, he's a first-team all-district unanimous decision as a junior. He's a shot put star. He's a San Antonio Sports All-Star. He's got an outstanding grade point average, and just can't say enough about him either as he gets in there to make the tackle here on third down, coming up for Stevens. And we talked a lot about the offensive line. Big Brandon Brown was up there for many years next to Logan Parr. Logan changed his commitment, is now going to Texas. And as Chuck talked about earlier, Greer going to the Naval Academy.
Yeah, and we're talking to Molesky before the game, and he said, all I needed to hear was, this guy is such a great kid that I'd let him date my daughter. So that tells you all you need to know about Bryson Greer.
Throwing to the outside, incomplete. Chris Jones, the intended receiver for KK Brashears. He's got the wind behind him now, so we may see Stevens go to the air a little more. Max Arguello there in coverage, senior safety. Carson Jones back to receive the punt off the foot of Jackson Schramm, who handles all the kicking duties for the Falcons. Place kicking, kickoff, extra points, and the punting duties.
Yeah, he did a really good job on that last one, kicking the ball low. Let's see what he does with the wind at his back. Blocked.
And the Panthers have it right at the doorstep. Jesse Reyes got there, and C.J. Waller, a first-team All-District performer a year ago, there to recover it.
Well, how about this? Special teams coming up large, and it is Reyes coming right up the middle. It's almost impossible to get a punt off when the pressure's coming up the middle. And Reyes, boy, man, Coach Molesky could not say enough good things about this young man as a football player. We were talking to him before the game. I mean, just a great player, and he comes up large for O'Connor here.
So they're in the red zone, and Taylor will try to get in, but he's thrown for a loss by Joshua Gonzalez, the second-team All-District junior who made an impact last year as a sophomore. C.J. Waller, who recovered that blocked punt, that's his third of the year. He returned a blocked point after touchdown against Marshall, and he also returned a blocked punt against Clark, so that's his third special teams recovery after a block on the season.
Well, you look at big Josh Gonzalez. He's been going to different combines, and the word is getting out that this guy's a college player.
Taylor in for the touchdown for the Panthers. And O'Connor strikes first.
Boy, that's such a huge, huge touchdown for O'Connor in terms of tilting the field, taking advantage of the fact that it's a disadvantage going into the wind, but you shorten up the field, you get a short punch, and then not being able to take advantage of the wind at your back in the first quarter, and kind of taking the elements and turning them into your favor here in the second.
Extra point is up and good, and O'Connor leads it 7-0 here in the first half of the final regular season game of the year.
Welcome back to Dub Ferris Stadium. I'm joined now by Casey Stawoski from John Wayne Service Company. Casey, thank you so much for joining us. You're braving the elements with us here tonight. How did you draw this assignment tonight?
I volunteered, strange enough.
Volunteered? You didn't draw straws, didn't lose at rock, paper, scissors or anything like that?
No, I asked to.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And Casey, tell us, what do you do at John Wayne Service Company and how long you've been working for them?
I am a customer service representative, and I've been there for about 7 months now.
And so, Casey, big fan of football. I mean, I know you met a great young man over there on the other sideline tonight. John, tell us, what is John Wayne? Why do they get involved with TNL?
We love the community. We love Texas high school football, and we just want to recognize the young athletes that are out here tonight.
Well, you guys have been doing a great job with it throughout the rest of the season here. Casey, I know everybody's going to be able to vote for the Player of the Week after tonight's game. We're going to name a couple more. Where do people need to go so they can cast their votes?
Just go to johnwayne.com, and you have Sunday through Wednesday at 3 p.m. to be able to get your vote in.
And it's just one vote for each person, right? Or
you can vote once every hour.
There you go. And I understand there's also an incentive of casting your vote too. You get to enter into a little contest, right?
Yeah, so that contest we are actually running. One lucky person for the season is actually going to win a $10,000 home makeover from John Wayne.
Well, Casey, thank you so much again for joining us this evening. Go home and get dry, I guess. And make sure you stay tuned in with us as well, guys. Back up to y'all.
Thanks a lot, Zach. Stevens attempting a pass here to Ethan Gonzalez on the near side. Went through his hands. It'll be tough to handle those. Tim McCray in the coverage. And it's a tough night to throw and catch the football.
Well, KK Brashears did a really nice job. The young guy getting back there and throwing a dart out there. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, the ball's going to be a little wet, so receivers have to keep that in mind, obviously, when they go to try to cradle the ball in.
2nd down and 10 for the Falcons, rather. Little play action. That's picked, and that's 6 in more ways than one. Taking it to the house, number 6, Kyler Goodman, touchdown. 34 yards on the pick 6 by the Panthers.
Boy, that was a really nice play fake at the start of the play, but you may have bought it up front with the front guys, but man, look at 6 reading this one all the way. You're right there in front, saw it coming a mile away. Had no problem with the ball security either, and got himself 6 points.
Good position by Kyler Goodman. That kick is through, and OConnor leads it 14-0 with 10:08 to go here in the second quarter. Welcome back to Ferris Stadium. Kyler Goodman, the junior linebacker, sizing up that play. A pick 6 for the OConnor Panther defense. They lead it here 14-0 on a wet, windy, drizzly night. Cold as the Stevens Falcons trying to secure a playoff spot with a victory. And OConnor trying to end the regular season on a high note as they get ready to go into the first round of the playoffs. Now, Stevens still has a couple opportunities to make the playoffs if they don't win here tonight. They need either a Warren win over Clark or a Jay loss in order to make the playoffs. Either one of those things happen and they would still get in. Here's the kick return by the Falcons. That's Leonard Adams getting out of bounds. We'll see the freshman KK Brashears. Hey, we've been telling you all season about the Cheer Challenge powered by CPS Energy. Help determine who's going to win it. The cheer squad with the most votes online gets $1,000 for their program. $500 goes to second place. Top 4 teams cheer at the Dome on January 4th. Just vote at CW35.com. Again, that's wrapping up as we get near the end of the season. That's the San Antonio All-Star Cheer Challenge, brought to you by San Antonio Sports, powered by CPS Energy.
Yeah, and for OConnor, it looks like they're going to play Reagan or Churchill in the first round of the playoffs, and boy, they look pretty good tonight to start this game.
Little option pitch and submarine down there. Michael Plante knocked down by Jesse Reyes, who had the block special teams earlier.
I'll tell you what, that young man, how many times we called his number
He's
already
everywhere
tonight,
now.
right?
4-5 is all over the place tonight.
A little swinging gate action here.
Anthony Boykin pulling out all the stops. It'll be fun to see how this one shakes out. And now we have a false start called by the far side judge.
5-yard penalty. Still second down.
And Boykin can't believe it. You know, if you're gonna make that call and you're gonna try to run it once a game, you got to be clean. And he's upset that it didn't quite go his way. But
yeah,
they're still in the same formation.
because I'm thinking he really likes what he had called.
He's got it anyway. And you got one guy trying to block two blitzing linebackers here. So it's going to have to happen quick. Throws it downfield, and that's intercepted on the far sideline. And on the return is Tim McRae. Tim McRae across the 20 and right there at the 20-yard line. He might have liked what he had called, but it wasn't executed the way he wanted. 31 yards on the return, and just a bad luck play there for the Stevens Falcons.
Well, C.J. Waller, the cornerback for O'Connor, gets all the love, and rightfully so, with the career that he's had as a senior, as a defensive back for the Panthers. But, man, they've got some guys stepping up big tonight. McRae, really nice, and even more impressive was the return.
He knew where he wanted to go. O'Connor in business. Taylor's got it. Look at him juke forward across the 20 inside the U.S. Army red zone. Brought down by Joshua Gonzalez. Again, Chuck, you said he's getting a lot of ink. People found out who he was as a sophomore. Now big number 99. Getting a lot of love from recruiters.
Yeah, 100%, you know, and he goes up against Bowling every single day in practice, so that's really helped elevate the level of his play. And Bowling just committed to UIW, so he got college players on the Stevens side as well.
Gonzalez just a junior as Taylor puts a foot in the ground and cuts back across the 15 down to about the 13-yard line. Devin Martin, who's one of our San Antonio Sports All-Stars, makes the tackle.
We all know that Stevens has got some defensive linemen in their stable, right, over the years, with one playing in the NFL.
Marcus Davenport of the New Orleans Saints, a Stevens product. Here's Taylor to the right side, breaks a tackle, watch out, Taylor cuts it back across the 6 down right at the 5-yard line. Eli Alexander on the tackle. And I just continue to be impressed with the change of direction speed of Zion Taylor.
Yeah, he's going to be playing at the next level too. It's just a matter of where. Really solid running back.
First and goal now for the Panthers. 7:27 to go here in the half. Dot again to Taylor, and you see him dance a little bit before plunging forward across the 5. Big Bradley Akins clearing some space for him as well. Talk a lot about Logan Parr going to Texas and being a 300-pounder, but they've got some other big guys up front.
Yeah, they do, and it's interesting, like I said, the matchup with Stevens' defensive line, I mean, it's a good one. I mean, both of these teams really good on both sides of the ball up front.
19th offensive play of the game for O'Connor. 16 so far have been this guy. Make it 17 and make it a touchdown for Zion Taylor as O'Connor goes up 20-0, and they are riding the back of Zion Taylor here in this football game against Stevens.
And they've really taken and made the most of their opportunities in this football game, and I really thought it started with running their punt team out really quickly to get that punt off to end the first quarter, to try to tilt the field with the wind at their back, and then everything's gone their way since.
Pre-snap whistle on the extra point attempt.
Flag on
False
play.
start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, retry.
All right, so they'll re-tee it up for Aiden Nanez, the kicker. Just a freshman.
Tell you, this young man's got a leg on him. But you know, when you see freshmen on the football field, he's got some talent. And again, I mean, like I said, he was knocking him down from 50, going the other way with the wind at his back. And then, you know, on his last extra point, he looked like he adapted. I mean, he was kicking him nice and low and right through the wind.
So here's Nanez with the attempt from 25, and he jinxed it.
I sure did.
Pushed it right. It's no good, so it stays 20-0. As we send it down to Zach.
Stand by. Hey guys, thanks very much for joining. sending it down here. I'm joined now by Samantha and Gabe from Taco Cabana. Guys, thank you for coming. You guys stopped the rain, so I guess you guys are the good luck charm. Samantha, I know holiday season's coming up right around the corner. Some good stocking stuffer ideas, I guess, at Taco Cabana?
Yes, we do. Right now we have a gift card promotion going on. So what you can do is you can buy $25 in gift cards, and then you will get this free $5 guest appreciation card. And this is for you or a friend or a family member. You put in the stocking or just give it to a coworker as a gift. It's a great promotion going on. It'll be going on through the end of the year. So capitalize on that. And yeah.
So, Gabe, is this something that, you got to be in stores, or is this online, too?
It's online as well, and we also have it in restaurants. But if you guys want to use this for, like, a white elephant gift party, secret surprise, whatever, we have that available. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Well, Samantha, Gabe, sounds like a great idea for everybody back at home. So
also, we have one more thing. Yeah. We actually also deliver now. Like, if you guys want to ever have your meals delivered to your house or office, we offer that through our website. As well, so check that out.
So that means tacos are on the way, right, Gabe?
Yeah, anytime you want them.
Gotcha. Samantha, Gabe, thank you guys so much for joining us. Guys, back up to y'all.
Okay, that would be now, Zach. You can tell them that now would be good. That chicken tortilla soup they have would be good on a night like this. Leonard Adams on the short return. Got to tip your cap to the brave fans who are sitting in the puddles, gathered on the bleachers and all wrapped up.
I know. I see. Look at. You see the legs up there? I'm looking at some kids right in front of me here. They're in shorts,
selling hot chocolate and coffee downstairs. Handoff straight ahead. Brandon Lee on the carry, picks up about 4. Stevens trying to get on the scoreboard here before halftime. Bryson Greer again on the tackle, and what weather? They're having a great time.
Indeed they are. As they should.
I think that's the key, though. You got to stand up. You got to stand up.
You got to keep moving, that's for sure.
You got to be moving. Bleacher seats are not going to be dry no matter how hard you try. Motion for the Falcons. They fire that way on the slant. Just a little too far in front of the intended receiver, Brandon Lee.
Well, we look at this young guy, KK Brashear. I mean, again, just a freshman out here playing big-time 6A high school football. And, again, I mean, Coach Boykin was saying that, this kid was kind of walking around here, and first time he got a chance to do skill work, and he kind of asked to stay around and be around the older guys, and then next thing you know, they had an injury at quarterback. Then they had another senior who decided he wasn't going to play. So in you go, freshman. We're going to throw you to the wolves. And it's really amazing to me that Anthony Boykin, he got to Stevens late when he took over the head coaching job. And then you got to go and try to traverse a 28 6A schedule. And you're doing so with a freshman quarterback. And you got a winning record here. Last game of the regular season, get a chance to possibly punch your ticket to a playoff game. I mean, this guy's just done a wonderful job making it all happen very, very quickly at Stevens High School.
We're back in 30.
At San Antonio International Airport, we don't just make flying easier, we make it an experience. Take advantage of the galleries at SAT or SAT Live, where we feature local San Antonio artists and performers to enhance your traveling experience. We have nursing stations, pet relief stations, and of course our world-famous ambassadors, all here to make your traveling experience better. Fly easier, fly San Antonio.
Talked about this young freshman quarterback kind of just hanging around and wanting his way in as he does a little pump and go there, and now he'll slide down at about the 34-yard line. Never underestimate the power of just want to and moxie. I love the story of Baker Mayfield when he was at Lake Travis in Austin. As a freshman, he was a B-team quarterback, and they said he walked around the varsity locker room like he was the team captain, around seniors. And they were like, who's this little freshman B-team quarterback acting so cocky he hasn't done anything? But he walked around, he thought he was the main guy. And he willed himself to that, both in high school, at Tech, walked on to OU, won a Heisman Trophy, all because he had a lot of want-tos. Carson Jones breaks free across the 50, across the 45, and inside Stevens territory. Finally brought down by Eli Alexander after a 30-yard return. So it's a good lesson for all kids. You know, walk the walk. You want something, act like you can do it.
Yeah, this is a heck of a return, no question about it. So O'Connor's going to have great field position again going into the win. But yeah, to finish your thought, I mean, the one thing about Brashear that Coach Boykin said immediately, he got the respect of the older dudes, and they really like him. So the transition, he thought, even though he's a freshman, was made that much easier.
A lot to be said for confidence as Dodd throws it out to the near side. That one just got pushed down by the wind. That was intended for John Locke.
John Locke's going. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to throw this thing into a hurricane. I mean, there was a prime example of, I mean, you know, Dodd's had a great season, got a good arm, and I'm telling you, man, it is just tough.
It's like throwing it against a wall.
No doubt. Going, you know, right to left into this win.
Second down and 10 as they hand it off and breaking some tackles and breaking free. And down right at the 40-yard line is Quality Kendall. This is O'Connor's worst starting field position.
Yeah, Davon Martin doing a really good job swarming to the ball, and you know, I think you got to sell out if you're Stevens. I mean, you've got to stack and pack the line up there, force O'Connor to beat you in the air if that's the way it's going to be, especially going into this win.
Third down and 9. Again, it's Quality Kendall, and this time he's got nowhere to go, and a good job by that Stevens defense. Big number 90, Noah Caballero there to make the tackle.
Yeah, Darius Ellis, too, doing an outstanding job out there on the edge. Watch him contain and push the runner back inside. That's a great job, and then waiting for his buddies to come up there and clean it up.
So O'Connor will punt it away. Short kick again that bounces at about the 25, and then we'll see where they spot it, but it'll be near the 17-yard line. Hey, you can still vote for the $5,000 band grant. Probably won't hear Stevens and O'Connor tonight. If they're smart, they're already on the bus on the way home. But you can vote for them just by knowing how good they are in spirit. Vote for Stevens at band 19 to 44332, or O'Connor to band 20. These are the last two bands of the year. Text band 20 to 44332. We've had 20 bands all season long. One of them will get the $5,000 band grant. Stevens is hoping to get a touchdown here as they try to complete the pass, but again, Ethan Gonzalez having a tough time handling that one because the ball's wet, it's wobbly, and your hands are cold, they're wet. It's just a tough night to throw and catch the football.
Indeed. It's tough to do a lot of stuff. Stevens really could have used that, obviously. Really good play design and had some good blocking out front if they were able to make the completion.
That would look like a shot put attempt because he probably couldn't get the handle on it. Brashears was looking for Brandon Lee, but again, he just caught it up by his shoulder and didn't really even have a baseball type throwing motion. It was more of just a lunge to try to, I think, keep your hand on the football.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. I mean, again, he's trying to keep his hands dry, and that's difficult. But you did mention baseball, so we're going to also mention the fact that this young man's going to probably be a middle infielder on their baseball team as well.
Gets the handle on this after juggling it once, and then it slides down again. And the Stevens offense having all kinds of problem here deep on their own end zone. And O'Connor's going to stop the clock with 3:08, take a timeout, and a 20-0 lead.
Well, that's showing a little veteran savvy there, even though he's a freshman. I mean, there's nowhere to go with the football, and rather than just chuck it downfield or try to make something happen with your legs, with 3 or 4 O'Connor defenders right there, he opted to just kill the series and see if your punter can't tilt the field here.
Taking a look at our Go Public Smile Cam. Pep rally over at Stevens. Having a lot more fun indoors there than they are here tonight. A lot of school spirit out there with the Falcons. Getting the football players involved with the dance team.
What a gorgeous campus they've got out there at Stevens. Have you been out there?
University of Stevens.
That's what I'm talking about. Man, the Northside School District and the taxpayers really did a nice job putting up that place.
All these facilities.
Spectacular.
When you drive up on this place from the backside, and you see this swim center and this athletic complex and this new gym here, Stan Lang in the Northside School District. Wow, there's a lot of universities that are jealous of what they have here at Northside.
Yeah, it's for the kids.
So Stevens will punt it away.
That was
high
a bomb.
Taking wind, takes Carson Jones back, and good coverage by the punt team as well. Down at the 45-yard line. Leonard Adams doing a good job getting down there as you take a look at the swim center. Of course, the U.S. Olympic swimming team trained there before the Olympics in 2016. There's the new basketball gym, Convocation Center. I'm telling you, man, I will even go this far. There's some Division I universities that would trade facilities with this place.
Yeah, it's pretty special. The new gym over here too, man, looks good.
1st and 10. Dodd has a lot of time. Scrambles. Turns on the jets and gets across the 45, and I think he learned his lesson with trying to throw the ball deep into this wind.
Yeah, that and trust your eyes. I mean, once that side of the field kind of collapsed, he saw that there was at least a little bit of area to get outside. He didn't pick up much yardage, but at least he moved it a little bit, and he gets to go to 2nd down.
Picked up a yard, 2nd down and 9. Little misdirection coming this way, and good job by the Stevens defense. Ball is out. They're going to blow it dead. Not sure it was, but it's a break for O'Connor. Quali Kendall lost the handle. Devon Martin was there, and big number 92, Efren Mejia, was also there. He had to return a fumble last week for a touchdown, and he was there to help cause it.
Yeah, Mejia doing a really good job out there, really stacking that thing up, and there's just really nowhere to go with the football.
Let's see if this ball was out. Of course, there's no instant replay in high school football. They blew it dead. And you can't tell from that angle, his back was still on the body of the tackler, but nevertheless, 3rd down and 15 for O'Connor. Dodd, straight drop, throws a little screen over here, nice design, and still on his feet, taking on all kinds of tacklers is Kevin Cavanaugh, who was dishing it out as much as he was taking it.
I'll tell you what, man, this has been a nice little tete-a-tete tonight with these two teams. You can tell Stevens is playing for something, and then, really good discipline defensively, and then how about Joshua Gonzalez getting back in this play at the very end? I mean, there's some dudes boinking and doinking each other, and you gotta like it. Football on a Thursday night and on the tube, guys getting after it.
4th and 5 at midfield. If they fake it here, Mark Kusenberger gets a bonus point. They don't. They kick it to the 25. It'll die there, and Stevens will have it. Hey, San Antonio Sports and Methodist Healthcare recognizing teams that have exhibited key values through their actions. To learn how parents, teachers, and coaches can nominate teams that go beyond the game, visit sanantoniosports.org. Also, watch tonight's halftime show for teams that are going beyond the game, showing their duty of respect, integrity, selfless service, sportsmanship, and caring, helping others. Speaking of Northside, Stan Lang leading the way in the Beyond the Game initiative. It's a Gold's Gym 1st down as it's incomplete. Juan Robles, the intended receiver. in the flat. And KK finding out he's having a rough night. 1 for about 9 now, or 10. 9, 1 for 9 throwing the football. It's just not conducive to doing that. Even the short routes are having a hard time.
Well, and he's had some drops too, and he's let the game slow down a little bit. I think he's going to be just fine.
Hand inside in a big collision. There's a nominee for our collision of the game. Jesse Reyes laying the wood on a 2nd down carry. That'll set up 3rd down and 11 as we get close to the end of the half here.
Brandon Garza looks like he's a little dinged up. Number 27 for O'Connor. He was in there dishing out some punishment, and hopefully he's okay.
Third down and 11. Here's Brashears throwing again. That ball's high and tipped by maybe both players got a hand on it. The intended receiver was Jeremiah Mestre-Elliott. Tim McCray, who's already had 1 interception on the night. They're also in good coverage. And O'Connor's going to get the football back with 48 seconds to go and 2 timeouts.
Yeah, that was almost a really good play there. I mean, that ball, again, 25 yards down the field and almost made the completion down there for a 1st down for Stevens.
A little 1 hop fielded by the shortstop, kicked up high. Carson Jones muffs it back to the 20. Let's see what he does here to get out of this trouble. He turns on the jets. Good speed and burst to get across the 30. And we're back in 30.
Fly easier, fly San Antonio, where we have more than 50 food, beverage, retail, and service concessionaires for your traveling convenience. From national brands to local San Antonio favorites. Enroll in the SAT Rewards program. Gain promotions, discounts, and points for every purchase. And your one boarding pass offers you access to every concessionaire in both terminals. Fly easier, fly San Antonio.
Quali Kendall on the carry. We tick inside 30 seconds. Joshua Gonzalez again on the tackle. O'Connor not in a hurry, really up 20-0. Thought they might try to burn a couple of timeouts here and maybe move the football, but they're going to be content to take this into the locker room with a 20-0 lead.
It's been a pretty good football game. I mean, it got a little silly for Stevens there in about a 6-minute stretch, but I think all in all, they kind of held their own in this one.
They are a team looking to go to the playoffs. Right now, it looks like they'll need a Warren win over Clark or a Jay loss, but they're still a playoff quality football team. And they've got a 2nd half to play here to try to get back in this one. But right now, it's the O'Connor Panthers leading 20-0 here at the half on a wet, rainy, cold, chilly, windy, miserable night. But you know what? People are having fun because they're playing football. Let's go down to the sideline. Zach Hedrick standing by with Coach.
Good.
Coach telling me he's cold, but he's good. Coach, I know it's been a tough night offensively, but defense is picking up the slack for you.
It is, and that's why we have 3 phases of a football game. And you may not be perfect in one half with one, and might be with another, and then that could flip real quick in the 2nd half. And so hopefully we get things going a little bit better offensively and continue to play well defensively.
Well, Coach, we'll let you go warm up. Good luck in the 2nd half.
Thank you.
David Molesky, one of the all-time best. It's halftime here at Ferris Stadium, our season finale of Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights. When we come back, we'll have the Lockaway Storage halftime show, our Scholar Athlete of the Week. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back.
Welcome to the Lockaway Storage halftime show.
Welcome back to Dub Ferry Stadium. 20-0 our halftime score. O'Connor leads Stevens. I'm joined now by Command Sergeant Major Tabitha Gavia with U.S. Army Recruiting. Very special guest with us here. I mean, she is in charge of it all. So Tabitha, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
You're very welcome.
Braving the cold with us tonight. And Tabitha, I know Veterans Day coming up, so a very special day for you and everybody, all the military families, but awesome for you guys too, because you guys are rolling out some new stuff with U.S. Army recruiting.
So absolutely, we're rolling out a new ad campaign, What's Your Warrior? And it basically describes the breadth and depth of what the Army has to offer young people. So the Army is about diversity, a reflection of our country, and our new ad campaign definitely covers that.
And Tabitha, I mean, you're going to be taking this ad campaign your job takes you all across the country.
Absolutely. So we are located all across the United States and in several places overseas. We like to say it's 44,000 zip codes is where you can find Army recruiting.
Tabitha, I know tonight too, all the teamwork being displayed. I mean, you really need it tonight on a night like tonight. It's cold, it's windy, it's wet. It's something that you guys really, try and strive for to see and bringing people to the Army.
Absolutely. At the core of it all for the Army, it's about teamwork. While we capitalize on individual strengths and talents, we do that to bring everyone together as a team to accomplish our missions.
Tonight, I know people, we've had booths at the T&L games every game this season, but people might want to stay on the couch, and how do they find out just from staying at the comforts of home? How do they find out more?
So there's a few places you can go to. Number one place is goarmy.com, where you can find anything and everything about the Army and also find where your local Army recruiters are located.
Tabitha, thank you so much for joining us. We'll let you get inside and warm up a little bit more. Thank you so much.
It was very nice. Thank you.
We'll have more with the halftime show right after this.
You're watching the Lockaway Storage Halftime Show.
Welcome back. Joined now by Mr. Stan Lang from Go Public. And Stan was braving the weather with us, and we now have the PA announcer talking over us as well. Stan, I guess he just wanted in on this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. We're glad he's here.
Stan, I know tonight the football teams are on full display because the bands and cheer squads are sheltering, but really this is something that Go Public likes to shine a spotlight on, just all the teamwork that it all takes to put on a football game.
Sure. Each week is a culmination, not just the Northside schools, but all of our public schools around San Antonio, when you have all the communities come together. And what's really a great thing when you talk about football and the band and the spirit and the JROTC and just all the different programs, when all the kids, the things that the kids are involved in on each and every campus is what we call the heart and soul of every campus. When we talk about the heart of that campus, that's the instruction, the academic piece certainly, but the soul of the campus is all those things that our young people do outside the academic classrooms, and you see a culmination of that. So it's really great to see that, and it's really just a positive experience for our young people, and not so much for the community tonight out here. Hopefully they're at home watching it.
Well, Stan, you talk about the soul of it. I mean, all the student organizations and stuff like that. Part of that soul too is the educators, the coaches. You have that background as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are an important part of it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. When you talk about that, when we talk about what drives that heart and soul as educators, really comes down to one word, and there's been a lot of research on that one word in public education, and it's the thing that moves the needle more than anything when it comes to student success, and is when they're in an environment where they feel like there's hope. And so you think about that from the heart standpoint, where teachers are challenging our young people academically, but then the soul part, when we're teaching young people how to fail, quite honestly, out here on the football field or in the band hall, how to overcome adversity, and the result of that is hope. And so we're always very proud of what our young people do and what our educators do in our public schools.
And a big vessel for that is Beyond the Game.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's something we're very passionate about. When we talk about the X's and O's, our goal is to win. We have a scoreboard, right? And instructionally, we talk about math, science, English, social studies. There's that content that you want to give, but we want to talk about going beyond the game, and that's what our purpose is. And again, then take those things that we learn out here on the field or in the classroom and prepare our young people for life.
How encouraging is it? I mean, I know when I've visited with all the student athletes, when they come in to talk with us and they tell us all the other things that they're involved in beyond their sports. I mean, how encouraged are you to see that they get involved at such a young age?
You know, when I think Dabo Sweeney said it best when he said, you know, if we believe there's hope in the future, there's power in the present. And that power in the present is we take the platform of athletics and fine arts, and we use that to teach young people how to be leaders. And we say, all right, well, so what does it mean to be a leader? And, you know, we've taken the mindset of a servant leader. And to teach young people how to be selfless. And, you know, obviously you have to be, if you're a great teammate, that means you're doing everything you can to make your teammate better. Well, to take that trait and quality and to go out into the community and serve the community in a selfless way.
Well, Stan, thank you so much for braving the elements with us tonight. I know you were saying earlier before we came on, you coached in West Texas. Talk about some of the conditions out there.
Oh, well, yeah, man, this is beautiful compared, you know, I don't see any snow flurries, so it's a great night.
So come on out and brave the weather tonight, right?
Absolutely. Come join us.
Stan, thanks so much for joining us. Guys?
San Antonio middle and high school athletes are doing great things for our community. San Antonio Sports and Methodist Healthcare are shining the light on teams that model key values through their actions. This week, we salute two schools whose community projects demonstrate beyond the game values. At Stevens High School, the Falcons football team comes together every Thursday morning to read to students in the district's elementary schools as part of their Falcons Read program. Last month, Jackson Vaughn at OConnor High School organized a basketball matchup to raise money for an athlete in need. O'Connor's varsity team took on San Antonio Parasport in a friendly game with all proceeds going towards the purchase of a sport wheelchair. These athletes demonstrated the beyond the game values of sportsmanship, selfless service, caring, integrity, and respect. San Antonio Sports and Methodist Healthcare salute high school and middle school coaches who inspire their teams to serve others. Parents, teachers, and coaches can nominate teams that go beyond the game. Visit sanantoniosports.org.
You're watching the Lockaway Storage Halftime Show.
Welcome back to Northside. There's the Indoor Aquatic Center. Chuck, I'll give you $5 to go swim a lap in the outdoor pool right now.
Well, you know what, Don? I might have to take you up on that. I could use $5. I'll run over to Taco Cabana after the game and get me some food with the hard-earned cash that I just earned.
Hey, it's time to recognize tonight's Scholar Athlete of the Week. Each week we highlight one student from each school that's playing on TNL. And we're getting close to the end of the season, and so one of these recognized students will be awarded $10,000 in scholarship money presented by our friends at Vulcan Materials Company. So let's meet this week's students.
I am Diamond Elizondo, and I am a senior at Stevens High School.
Throughout her entire high school career, Diamond has maintained a perfect 4.0 grade point average.
Because I've always lived by your student athlete, student comes first for a reason.
Currently, she ranks at the top of her graduating class, a spot she's held since her sophomore year.
I've always been more of a math science person, so anything with math and science,
Diamond is a member of the National Honor Society. She volunteers her time at the San Antonio Food Bank and as a mentor at Mernon Elementary.
Getting to hear what the little kids have to say, they're really funny. When you get to know them and they just tell you everything, they have no filter at all.
Diamond will continue her playing career and major in biology at Trinity University.
And after I get my degree, I'm looking into going into the medical field with hopes to become an anesthesiologist.
Vulcan Materials is recognizing an outstanding kid like Diamond Elizondo from Stevens High School.
Congratulations on being this week's Vulcan Materials Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Thank you.
I'm Jack Jennings, and I go to OConnor High School.
Jack will also graduate next spring. His 99.4 GPA ranks him 60th out of a class of 879.
High school, the attention to detail is key. Just not doing something, doing it absolutely right and perfectly right all the time is what will get you success in life. And so
Jack is a 3-year member of the Panther track and field team, but his passion is football.
But I was begging my mom from about preschool to put me in tackle football, but she put me in soccer and I was way too physical, so she finally just ended up putting me in football.
A member of the National Honor Society, outside of school, Jack volunteers his time with Kinetic Kids and Magdalena House. Last year, he helped organize an appreciation week for the O'Connor custodial staff.
Because I think custodians are so underappreciated. OConnor is a very big, wide open campus, And every day when I walk on campus is beautiful, and that's because of the janitors.
Jack has been accepted to Texas A&M and plans on majoring in biomedical science.
For sure, I want to be a doctor. I just don't know what yet. I'm kind of leaning towards orthopedic surgery and helping out athletes. And I'm also leaning towards emergency medicine.
Vulcan Materials is recognizing an outstanding kid like Jack Jennings from OConnor High School.
Congratulations on being this week's Vulcan Materials Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Thank you.
You're watching the Lockaway Storage Halftime Show.
Welcome back to our Lockaway Storage halftime show. 20-0 OConnor. It's drying out a little bit, clearing up a little bit. Still cold, still windy, just not as much precipitation as we get ready for the second half. Time now to take a look at our first half highlights. We had a blocked punt by the OConnor special teams unit. That set up the Panthers' first touchdown of the night. Quick short touchdown run by Zion Taylor made it 7-0 OConnor. Tough night to throw the football. And we had an Oski, a pick six by the OConnor Panthers. Kyler Goodman going to the house. And then another interception. Timothy McRae, his return put OConnor in business to score again. And again, it was Zion Taylor scoring for the second time tonight. And that's where we stand, 20-0. We're getting ready for the second half kickoff when we come back. Welcome back. Coach Anthony Boykin and his Stevens Falcons preparing to kick the football off. OConnor will receive it. And again, this wind still blowing on your screen from left to right. And so there's a good chance this kick goes into the end zone, if not into the swimming pool. Good high kick. Will be a touchback. And OConnor will have the ball first with a 20-0 lead. And David Molesky's crew wanting to clean things up, look good going into next week's first round of the playoffs. As we told you earlier, they've already clinched a spot. Can't move up or down. They're going to be the #1 seed in the big school in 28-6A. A lot of things can happen in the other districts, can affect their first round opponent, but if things go to form, it looks like Reagan is most likely to face OConnor next week. Stevens, even if they lose here tonight, they're down 20-0, can still get in with a Warren win over Clark or a Jay loss coming up tomorrow. First down and 10 for the Panthers. Here's Zion Taylor to the edge, now cuts it back. Taylor again does a great job of finding the openings and getting to the 34-yard line before he's dropped by Drayshawn McCullough.
Looked like a guy walking through a maze, right? We had landmines everywhere and just kind of zigging and zagging and picking up 9 on the play.
That's just what he does. He's kind of fun to watch in that regard. He's got quick feet and great vision and decision-making on a dime. He's also got big number 71 to run behind.
That's a good place to start.
I think I'll try off his left hip. Second down and 1. And here he is again, and he stumbles forward for maybe a gain of 1. Back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to set up 3rd and 1. Noah Caballero forces a 3rd down and not a 1st down. Nice tackle in the backfield.
Sure was. I mean, may have lost a couple of inches right there, and it is going to set up a 3rd down. So, again, as vaunted and as great as this OConnor offensive line is, I really like these 3 guys that play up front for Stevens, too.
Taylor again having a hard time getting there, now does get the 1st down and gets a little bit of a shove from his offensive lineman, and they blow it down. Time for a U.S. Army player profile on man you're looking at, Drayshawn McCullough. Drayshawn's got a 91 GPA, plays track and football. It's part of that Falcons Reed Elementary School mentorship program going beyond the game. Wants to major in computer science in college and is an outstanding student athlete. Tip of the cap to our U.S. Army player profile there on Drayshawn. Zion Taylor is carrying the load here tonight, boy.
4 or 5 straight carries. Mark Kusenberger, how many carries does he have on the night? He's got 21 carries for 82 yards. And we just started the second half.
Yeah, so if he can kind of top what he's done already, it's going to put him over 1,000 for the regular season.
Second down and 8. Play action, tipped. Ball's now knocked to the ground for an incompletion. Good initial push by that Stevens defensive front to get in the backfield with Dodd. Looked like big 99 Joshua Gonzalez was one of the guys there. Let's see if he's the guy who got a hand on it.
This guy's really coming on. I mean, look at that. He's rushing upfield, but then spots with his eyes that the quarterback's going to turn and throw the ball. He just stops and puts his arms up, makes a play.
Sets up third down and 8 for O'Connor. And here's Dodd handing to Taylor, and Taylor breaks through. Looks like he picks up another 6 or 7. It's going to be 4th and 1, and we'll see what Coach does here as Luis Paz the third and Nate Del Hoyo's there to make the tackle. Taylor now at 89 yards, and the rest of the O'Connor offense has 7. And Stevens just 10, so this is a one-man show here so far. 4th and 1, they'll trust Taylor. He's got it, he's got more, he's got the 50, and he's inside Stevens territory for another Gold's Gym first down. Noah Caballero, the man on the tackle, but Taylor's another carry, and they just, I guess, Chuck, they just believe that this young man can handle as many carries as it's going to take.
Well, I mean, he's their guy, and he's proven that he can, and what's impressive is that he just doesn't need a lot of daylight to move the football.
184 carries coming into the night. Another 23 or 24 now. Joshua Gonzalez making the tackle.
Yeah, I'm impressed with this 99, though, guys.
Yeah.
Jeepers, creepers. This dude, he's something else.
Just a junior.
Yeah, plays well with his hands. And Coach was telling us, man, he's great off the field, too. Gets after it every single day, so about what you're looking for at the next level. Size, and got a pretty good kid inside that frame, too.
Second down and 9. Molesky run a little option here. Dodd's going to keep. He does a good job of finding daylight and getting close to the Stevens 40-yard line. Darius Ellis makes the tackle, and this may be a pretty quick second half. I think O'Connor, talking about these elements tonight, and also the fact that they want to get out of this clean and healthy. They probably want to get out of here quickly as well and get on to the playoffs next week.
Well, I mean, it's just 3 yards here, 4 yards there, and, you know, again, there's not a lot of daylight with some of these runs, but they're doing just enough to keep the chains going here. Let's see if they can keep it going on third down.
Another option, going to pitch it to Taylor. 40 and cuts back, 35, and he's pushed out of bounds. Physical play there up front. Noah Caballero. And Davon Martin in on the tackle. Martin's one of our San Antonio Sports All-Stars.
Yeah, he did a good job this week talking to the cameras, trying to hype this game.
Very confident Stevens team coming in here tonight.
Zion, what a heads-up play there. I mean, everything looked like he was going to get pushed out of bounds, but he knew that if he didn't turn it upfield, he wasn't going to move the sticks. Ball on the ground.
And Stevens has it. Big 99 coming through again. Joshua Gonzalez. Chuck's favorite, making play again. We'll be right back. Stevens football. Welcome back. 6:34 left to go. O'Connor went 11 plays, took 5 minutes and 26 seconds off the clock, had 3 first downs, more than they had the entire first half, and didn't get any points out of it as Stevens caused a turnover, and now Bryson Greer comes up with the hit on Brandon Lee. Also in there was number 56. Aaron Granillo, and he made a big-time tackle right up there up front with Greer and company.
I guess if your coaches tell you they want to get a good push up front, that's kind of what you want to see. Man.
Another candidate for our collision of the game. Brashears.
Oh, what a nice play.
Just through the hands of his receiver. Thought it might go the other way. Brandon Lee dropped it. Was it tipped by the defender?
I don't know if it was. It was just really, the way they'd set everything up. I mean, and then you got young KK out there really doing a nice job baiting the DB to come in, and man, if they complete that, that's going a long way.
Yeah, to his defense, it was tipped off line by the defender who rushed up there. Kind of knocked it off track. Kyler Goodman, who's already got a pick 6 tonight. So it's 3rd and 14 for Stevens. They run it this way. Brandon Lee will get some of that back, but not enough. It'll be 4th down. Tim McCray, and a couple of Falcons slow to get up, including the ball carrier.
Chris Jones
is hurting too, yeah. Speaking of Brandon Lee, he too is a track guy. He too is involved in the Beyond the Game initiative with Northside Mentors Program and Falcons Reed, and he plans on joining the military. Congratulations, 5'8", 148, plays much bigger than that. Here's the Stevens punt. It's taken by Carson Jones. Watch out, Carson Jones up the middle. Carson Jones across midfield and down at the 40-yard line. No flags, and O'Connor will have it in Stevens territory when we come back.
You're watching Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights, presented by John Wayne Service Company.
Welcome back to Ferris Stadium, where kids are staying warm by dancing in the stands. As Dodd rolls out, wants to throw it, and now just does a good job of grounding it. Live to play another day. As we hit the 4:50 mark of the third quarter with O'Connor up 20-0 and a flag down on the play.
Well, we'll see what ends up happening, what's being called here, but can't.
On the defense, an eligible receiver. This is a 10-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
O'Connor possession, first down, 10 yards to go at the Falcons 31.
All right, so that'll move it near the 31-yard line.
Well, that was a really good job by 23 Nate De Hoyos, the sophomore linebacker, staying in that play. I mean, he was going to run upfield, then he saw the tight end run free, and he was able to get back there in coverage and make a big, nice play.
Zion Taylor grinding forward for another 5 or 6, closing in on the 100-yard mark on the night. Came into the night with 844, so he wants to have 1,000 yards on the season. He's getting close. Got 102 yards. So Chuck, my Northeast Independent School District math takes me to 946. Going into this carry here, and there's more. Taylor breaking it to the outside. Gives the stiff arm to Alexander across the 15. And picks up another Gold's Gym first down for the Panthers.
Yeah, we had 2 really good football players going at it at the end there. Eli Wilkinson, Alexander having to make a tough tackle here in open space. You take a shot to the head and still made the play.
Both of those young men will be all district performers here in 28-6A. 2 of the better athletes in the entire district. And we've got a jailbreak. Ball's out. Stevens trying to jump on it. They think they've got it. Let's see what they rule. But it may be another turnover, and it is.
Yeah, let's have a run blitz and meet at the quarterback, and then all kinds of good things start happening for Stevens. That's 2 huge defensive stands here in a row. by the Falcons.
Yeah, San Antonio Sports All-Star Davon Martin with the recovery. He's also got a fumble return for a touchdown this season, so he's around the football. And that was just a busted execution. At the same time, great job by that surge to that front four of Stevens, including the guy that we've been calling his name all night, big number 99.
Yeah, Joshua was the one that blew that thing up and put the ball on the ground. One more look. There's 99 right in the middle of everything.
Josh Gonzalez, take note of that name. Just a junior. We're going to say we knew him when. New set of downs for the Falcons. KK Brashears, the freshman quarterback, getting signals in from a very creative offensive play calling system over there. We'll get a shot of those play calling boards that he's looking towards. Seen a lot in college football over the last decade or so. Very creative artwork. We'll see when they throw those things up. Anthony Boykin calling the play here. And there you go. You got your Longhorn, you got your football, your Nike swoosh, and your A&M. The Falcons logo, the Northside Athletic logo, and the word playoffs, which is what they're striving for.
That's awesome.
Brashears going up top, going deep as a man.
Wow.
It's
Sure looked like a holding.
Sure looked like it stayed up in the air for 10 seconds. Ethan Gonzalez, the intended receiver. Tim McCray on the coverage. McCray's already got a pick tonight.
Yeah, I've really been impressed with the poise of KK Brashear back there, freshman. And one thing that Coach Boykin told us, man, he's not afraid of the moment. You know, he just kind of looks the part. But you can only imagine. I mean, you're a freshman trying to play 6A high school football in this league. Man, there's going to be some eye-opening experiences along the way. Hello.
Got away from him on the snap. He covers it up for a safety. That's 2 points for O'Connor. And it's 22-0. And the Panthers will get the ball right back. C.J. Waller all over it again on special teams. We're coming back. Last 1:45 of the third when we return. Welcome back. You're taking a look at the Monarch trophies. The big one's going to go to the coach. The smaller one to our most valuable player of the game, courtesy of Monarch Trophy Studio. If you need plaques and business awards, trophies for your Little League team, any kind of awards or plaques or gifts, you can call Monarch Trophy at 344-3777 or get online at mtsawards.com. Quali Kendall and Zion Taylor back to receive. They're going to kick it here after the safety. Jackson Schramm on the kick. Remember, he's got the wind behind him, gets it up in the air, and he's going to be taken at about the 30-yard line by the up man, and Carson Jones has it. He gets across the 40 to the 42, and O'Connor has dominated the time of possession and the plays, and just had 2 turnovers inside Stevens' territory here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, the O'Connor defense has really been stellar tonight. And again, it starts with Price and Greer up front, but Rogolinski, Vaccaro, and all their buddies on the back end doing a really good job pitching the shutout so far.
Gold's Gym first down for Dodd, who hands to Taylor, and he's met by the linebacking core after a gain of about 3. Drayshawn McCullough again there to make the tackle.
There's some dudes still getting after it, man. I love this. 99 in the middle of some stuff there, and Bradley Atkins, the junior, doing his thing over there. This is good. I like this. A little juice here in 28-6A.
Still fighting. Taylor dancing, nowhere to go. Ducks under. McCullough again, who's there. And the fans still having fun here. It's gotten a little drier. That makes it a little less miserable. Still chilly, still windy, but Panther fans having a good time. 40 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
Well, they've certainly seen their share of winning here at O'Connor High School. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of run they can get on in the postseason because, you know, they had 2 losses this year. They played Steele earlier this year, and Coach Molesky was telling me basically that 4 plays changed that whole game, and then against Brandeis, they had 2 punts blocked very early on in that game that kind of tilted the game in Brandeis' favor. And not taking anything away from Brandeis, obviously they're a very fine football team, but you know, this is one of those years that Coach Molesky, you know, he really doesn't mind going in. Not, you know, he sure would have liked to have won another district title. I'm sure the players would have too. Brandeis is going to get the title, but look out for these guys in the second season. You can always be sure of that.
Always well coached, always execute. And they lead it as we move on to the fourth quarter here at Dub Ferris when we come back. Welcome back, Coach David Molesky, sending his troops back onto the field with a 22-0 lead here as we start the fourth quarter on 4th down and 7. They'll punt it away with the wind at their back. Leonard Adams. And now Eli Wilkinson drops all the way back. High snap. That kick was almost blocked. And it takes a roll with the wind behind it. It may, watch this, it may blow all the way to the 1. 3 needs to get out of the way, let the wind do his job.
Yeah, put a sail on that sucker. It's not a bad result, that's for sure. I mean, you go from nearly having the ball blocked and then pin that thing inside the 10.
Yeah, 47 yards. You can see the flags blowing right in their face.
And it's just so typical, right? And we've talked a lot about the wind all night. You just saw how the flags are blowing, and then yet all the points that we've had have been into the teeth of the wind. Go figure, right?
Not in a million years would that be a 47-yard punt in any other conditions. Jet sweep to the far side is Chris Jones. He's having a hard time finding any sort of daylight, but turns it up at the sideline. He was slow to get up earlier, and looks like he's okay. A little slow to get up here. Brandon Garza and Bryson Greer on the tackle.
It's interesting watching these plays being called in by Stevens. I mean, the whole team is huddled over there on the sideline. They're flashing plays. It's really cool.
I think they're staying warm.
They got a log in there somewhere.
That is a little different bench area than you normally see. We'll take a look at it after this play as Brashears escapes. Now throws, and it's batted down, but yeah, I think they've got a campfire on the Stevens sideline. Max Arguello. And that's it. That's the entire team. If you look up and down the other 100 yards, that whole team is within a 5-yard huddle. So they flash the play in.
Yeah, young KK running for his life back there, doing a great job of buying himself some extra time on that last play. Just had the ball batted down. There's not a whole lot he could do with the pressure of the O'Connor defense. Has been relentless tonight.
3rd and 11, deep in their own territory. Brashears fires over the middle, and that's picked. On his way to the 10, cutting up to the 5. That's Gavin Mack with the Oski. O'Connor coming through with some young guys, just a junior with the interception, and sets up the Panther offense for another scoring opportunity, and we're back in 30.
I'm Rich Stinson, and on behalf of the entire team at the San Antonio International Airport, we'd like to say thank you. Thank you, San Antonio, for allowing us to serve you and all of your travel needs. For more than 75 years, we've been your hometown airport. Because of you, we continue to experience unprecedented growth, and we're excited about the future possibilities as we enter phase 2 of our strategic development plan. Thank you for flying easier, and thank you for flying San Antonio.
Here's Dodd firing. First down incomplete, looking for Carson Jones. O'Connor in really good position here. Chuck, are you surprised at all that all the number ones are still in there offensively?
You know, I don't know. I mean, I think both these coaches know what their players are capable of, and then, you know, again, you know, it still is only a 3-score game, and, you know, Coach Molesky, again, I don't think he's taking anything for granted. And I mean, you've seen how well that this Stevens defense has played all night long, and the fact that, you know, they've had a couple of turnovers, O'Connor has in this second half. So, I mean, I'm sure Coach Molesky's, you know, whatever it is that he's doing, he's thinking about what's ahead, too. That he feels like there's still some things that they can work on to try to get better on before the playoffs start.
Yeah, you're playing for growth. You're playing to get better, to improve, to move into next week. At the same time, you're also kind of in the back of your mind probably having to think a little bit about avoiding injury and getting out of the regular season clean. But so far, he's given it to Taylor to carry the load, and he has it again here, and he's going to walk in for his 3rd touchdown of the night. Zion Taylor. Anybody got anybody else for our player of the game?
45 might give him a run for his money on the O'Connor side, too. 99's been pretty special for Stevens as well, but yeah, this guy, did you see what he did at the end here too? Look at this. You think he's been coached? You're right, at any point he could have walked in, but right at the end there, he was still setting up blocks and okie dokie in the defenders. I mean, that was really, really nice.
Big night for Zion Taylor. What's new? 5 touchdowns last week, 3 tonight so far. We've still got a whole quarter to play as O'Connor leads Stevens 28-0. We'll be right back. Staying warm together. Actually, if they took a shot at the booth, me and Chuck are under the same jacket as well. All cozied up together here.
They're spooning in the booth. Hey, whatever it takes, brah. Oh, it's been very nice up here, man. This press box sure is impressive here at Ferris Stadium as well.
Seeing especially that first half. Hey, Taylor, by the way, has 125 yards, and the rest of this game, both sides combined, have minus 25. As Eli Alexander takes on all comers. Tough kid down at the 20.
Very nice. I like that fight to the end. Love it.
Yeah, I got to spend some time with him at 5 and 6 o'clock tonight. He was our John Wayne Player of the Week, and nice kid, man. Really mature, smart, funny, and intense. Was really looking forward to playing this football game here tonight. 3 interceptions last week. Leader of this team. 1st and 10, Gold's Gym first down. Here's Brashears. The handoff, diving forward. Hey, Chuck, do you see they announced the new class into the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame today?
Yeah, pretty solid crew there they got too, huh?
You and I both covered that Stan Bonowitz East Central basketball team. We were just talking about them a couple of weeks ago when we had the East Central game, and Stanley Jr., who had an outstanding career at Texas Tech as well, led that 95 team to the state championship. They averaged 108 points a game in 32-minute high school basketball, 8-minute quarter games.
I remember like it was yesterday, man. That was a lot of fun.
They were fun to watch. Len Hickey's going in, the former UTSA athletic director, and we'll tell you more about that when we come back. We're taking a timeout with O'Connor up 28-0. with 9:22 to go here in the fourth quarter. Welcome back. Fans all bundled up as you take a look at our Go Public Smile Cam. Brashears fires in the flat. Nice gain by Brandon Lee for the Stevens offense, which is having a hard time moving the football tonight. Umbrellas are back out. It looks like more of a wind block than rain at this point.
That's right. Anything to keep that gust off your shoulders and your net. Wow. I think both teams trying to shorten this game at this point.
Other nominees are inductees to be into the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame, including El Ciclone, Mike Ayala going in. We said Lynn Hickey, the UTSA former athletic director, the 1972 Trinity tennis team, which was legendary, beat UCLA for the national championship. Trinity's tennis team was just unbelievable under Clarence Mabry in the 60s and 70s. And General Robert McDermott, the late great general who owned the Spurs for a bit, and of course built USAA and had a big impact on sports in San Antonio. I leave somebody else out?
I don't know. I don't have the list in front of me. So
Ayala, Bonowitz,
yep, you got them. Yep.
Coach Hickey, the tennis team. I'm forgetting one. That ball is dropped as Brashears fires to the outside. Chris Jones, the intended receiver.
It's a tough night to pitch and catch the football. I mean, Chris Jones has been as steady and as solid as you could possibly imagine all year long. One of the leaders on this team. It's just been a really tough night, especially throwing into that wind. It's just been brutal for both teams.
Yeah, you can see him looking at his hand. I mean, it's cold out there when you're just walking around, much less trying to play a game and handle a football. Gold's Gym first down for O'Connor, and we've got some backups in the football game. Caleb Smith is quarterbacking. Stephen Rill on the carry. You can see the pain look on that young man's face.
Caleb knocking the frost off, right? I've been standing here all night. It may take me a couple plays to get warm.
Second down and 2.
Caleb's done a nice job when he's gotten his shot this season.
Sure has. 8 of 9 throwing the football. Rail runs into an angry Noah Caballero. As much as we've talked about Josh, Noah's had a big game here as well.
Yeah, and you know, he's been banged up a little bit over the last few weeks. Had a little knee issue going and a little bump on the head. And they're getting him back tonight. And boy, you can tell with these two guys on this defensive line, I mean, they've really held their own tonight. Very, very impressive, considering they've been on this field most of the evening. There's some tough dudes, man. And it's not like they're going against the Sisters of the Poor with that O'Connor offensive line. I mean, these guys are really doing a job.
Third down, looked like a busted play here and just a slide, and then a hit after the play. It was unintentional. No harm, no foul, no call.
Brought down by Rashawn Malone. Will be Stevens possession, 4th down, 11 yards to
And
go.
that'll be 4th and 11, and O'Connor may just run it here. I think we've seen the last of Zion Taylor for the night.
I kind of would like to see him kick a field goal from here, just for the heck of it.
Yeah, they got a win behind him.
I know Coach Molesky would be thinking that would be like, you know, like we're running it up on you, so he's not going to do it. But, man, I'm telling you, their kicker was bombing them before the game.
Yeah, be 50-plus. And, again, that front four. Stevens fighting till the end, and they're fired up still. Rashawn Malone making a play. The Falcons will have it in the final 5:47 when we come back. Welcome back, 5:47 to go. It's time for our Go Public Teacher Spotlight. Cheryl Robinson from Stevens is an English teacher there, and she encourages her students. She's a great relationship builder, a source of encouragement, and she stops to get to know the kids, the little conversations that make a difference. Always has a smile and compliments everybody. So congratulations to Cheryl Robinson, going above and beyond as our Go Public Teacher Spotlight. Big collision there. Andy Navarez with the football. Elijah Ornalis with the hit.
A little chance to see the speed of the O'Connor guys, even the backups swarming getting to the football.
2nd and 11 with 5:35 to go. Brashears going to fire out, completes it to the outside. Jeremiah Mestry Elliott on the catch. Gets out of bounds. Guess not. Clock continues to run. Jacob Chapa forced him out. They look over to those boards on 3rd down and 11.
Yeah, and you know, this Stevens offensive line, they've got Bowling. We already talked about what a great player he is, and he's going to UIW, and they kind of mixed and matched with their offensive line. Try to work some younger guys in as they're not able to pick up the 1st down on 3rd down. But again, I mean, a lot of these guys are super young. We're talking about their freshman quarterback. Just, I love the fact that this guy was on Friday Night Tykes as a kid before he even got to Stevens, and they were talking about Coach Boykin was about, man, he was a star before he even showed up on our campus, right? He said, man, the kids love him, though. He said, they want to make him a captain. He goes, I just can't do it. He's a freshman.
Brashears deep drop, fires over the middle, got a man, and it's caught. Great catch, still on his feet. Jeremiah Mestry Elliott down to the 30-yard line. What a grab.
Yeah, now he's on a little bit of a roll as KK Brashears. 3 or 4 in a row. This was a strike. Right on the button in traffic, and then big fella trucking down the field.
Gonna throw it again. Look to anyway. Now he points and tells the receiver to get upfield and directing traffic. It's incomplete. Jones is down. Jones has been hurting most of this second half. He's toughing it up. And he's been down 3 times, not getting up slow.
But you see, you know, you get a couple completions, and then all of a sudden,
confidence.
Yeah, right? You can see it. I mean, he's over there directing traffic on the run, rolling to his left. Not an easy throw to make, and almost threaded the needle down there on the back end. I like it. We're obviously going to be calling his name a lot. And like I said, he's going to be in the mix with the Stevens baseball team too. So tells you what kind of athlete we're talking about here with the freshman getting all kinds of varsity love possibly in his very first year in high school.
O'Connor shows blitz and they back out of it. Bashir is now going to run. Now fires, caught again. Same guy, Jeremiah Mestry Elliott, inside the red zone.
And he's tough too. Man, did he take a shot at the end of this throw? And I'll tell you what, that was poise in the pocket for a lot of reasons as we listen in on the call.
Flag down. Too bad that's coming back.
I thought he took a shot at the end. Let's see. Oh, ineligible downfield. Oh, yep, they did get the roughing the passer. That's too bad because that was a heck of a play. You see him give him the okie dokie?
Yeah.
Guy thought he was going to run, and he threw a strike downfield. This was textbook.
Now we're seeing why he's starting as a freshman. Because he's playing with a lot more confidence here late in the football game. I'm sure the elements had something to do with that early. But, I mean, he is really feeling his oats right now. Confident, slinging it, buying time, in control.
Got a little more time to throw right now in this particular series.
Looks right, fires deep. One-on-one coverage, hits the defender in the back of the helmet. No interference. Ethan Gonzalez, the intended receiver. And just moments ago, that was only Stevens' second first down of the entire game.
Dominic Esquivel running stride for stride with the receiver downfield. There you go. Look at that. 4 of 6 on the drive.
That's his whole night. On the drive, ball's out. Gets it back. Trying to make something out of nothing. He's under pressure and goes down at the 46-yard line. Good pursuit by that O'Connor defense. Eric Rogolinski there. There's a flag down. We'll see what happens here and who it's against. It's going to be declined. The loss was greater than the 10-yard hold. And so it'll be 4th down and forever. 26 to go here.
Well, he's out there still fighting. I really liked what he did there. I mean, you know, trying to evade and make a play downfield, and it's just a guy in front of you, a guy to your left, and a guy to your right. But he didn't throw it up for grabs.
High snap, but gathered nicely, punted away, and that ball not going very far with that wind blowing right there at midfield. And Chuck, Chuck, you know what time it is? Have you looked at your watch lately?
I did, and thankfully I just got a new battery, so we're right on time here.
It's time for the gentle musings of the uniform czar, and we have a couple of good ones here tonight. Don't you like them?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Stevens doing a good job. What I like the best about the Falcons uniforms, other than the classic UCLA shoulder stripe, which I'm a huge fan of, as you know if you watch frequently TNL, is the fact that they, in their color scheme, they're red, black, and white. But the fact that they're mixing in a silver helmet, to me, is a nice look. And I think that uniform would be great, whether it was all white or the fact that they've got the red pant. You could put a black pant with that. It would look that would look cool too. But they've got an interesting thing that's shown up a couple of times, and that's like the texture of their pants, almost like a not a fishnet, but it's almost like a see-through. Sometimes on the back of their thighs you see some white, and it's like a see-through thing going on there. Very stretchy. See that? See the see-through white on the back of the thigh?
Yeah, I got 2 eyes, bro.
It's hard to see from a distance, but that's kind of cool. You don't see that often. I don't know that we wanted that tight of a shot of the young man. O'Connor also, as
for the ladies.
I've said a million times before, love O'Connor's look. Hard to criticize anything about the O'Connor blue and gold. Very classic. The best thing I like is their Dallas Cowboys center helmet stripe. That's old school. That's NFL from the 70s that teams have kind of gotten away from. But I like the classic 3-stripe down the middle. Good pants, good color, blue and gold, little Notre Dame-ish, and a good logo. I've said it before, and they didn't like it, but I think their helmet logo needs to be consistent. I think they should use the Panther on both sides instead of the Panther on one and the OC on the other, but hey, that's their thing.
Look at that helmet, man. You think that kid's been in some wars?
It looks like he took it to his garage and took a sledgehammer to it.
Yeah, it goes to show you what he's been doing.
Yeah, real clean look, both teams.
That is definitely a Week 10 helmet.
Week 10, yeah, for sure. Good look. Like the navy blue face mask to go with a gold helmet like that.
I got one for you, though. Don't we need a new nickname than uniforms are? It seems so, I don't know, like we could be more clever than that. No?
Yeah, you come up with one.
What, Mr. Blackwell Jr.?
No.
How about Mr. Sackwell? You know, something. Uniforms are just sounds like, un-American.
High snap. Look at that wind. Take that ball inside. Look at this. He can let it go to the one if he wanted to. Kind of didn't want to get lost, but that was all wind. Good looking, clean uniform. Stan Lang at north side. Whoever's ordering the uniforms for these schools, good job. Good job. And I think, unless somebody can correct me, I've never seen that that back hamstring patch that Stevens has before, the two-tone. Hey, don't forget to vote for our All-Star San Antonio Cheer Challenge, sponsored by CPS Energy. $1,000 to first place, $500 to second. 4 teams cheer at the Dome. January the 4th, don't forget the All-American Bowl on NBC. And then we'll have the San Antonio All-Star game as Ethan Gonzalez comes in at quarterback, and he's sacked for a safety by the O'Connor defense. Kenneth Tarleton, check that, Eduardo Jimenez making the play.
How about that, man? How often do you see a safety in one game? Let's see 2 safeties in one game.
And they've got stuff to play for. Kids making plays who normally don't get in there.
Ethan Gonzalez in the
He's being
quarterback.
lifted up by his teammates.
That's awesome. Get it on TV for life there, young man. Which is what we do with these games, right? We stick them on YouTube, and they're there in perpetuity.
Forever.
So if you ever want to go back and watch these games, they are there. Just as good as having a high school yearbook, and even better if you're playing football or in the bands or the cheerleaders.
Which gives us and brings us to the great Chris Kotfus. And we want to recognize everybody here in Week 10 that's been a part of this crew, but Chris Kotfus does an unbelievable job of doing everything for TNL. He produces this game. He talks to these coaches and builds our pregame rosters and works way into the night. He gets off 5 o'clock and he stays at the office a lot of times well into the night working on this thing for 10 weeks all season, trying to make us look and sound good. We don't, but it's not because of the work from Chris Kotfus. And a lot of guys, a lot of people at our station, employees at both stations, work hard on TNL, but none more than Chris. And we just want you at home to know that, how much work he puts into this, and we sure are appreciative.
I don't like the guy, personally.
Really?
You know that's my boy. Man, I don't know how we do this without Chris.
We wouldn't. That's all there is to it.
The most prepared dude in the history of ever.
He's in our ear telling us to shut up and quit talking about him, but he's giving all the credit to the crew as we tick down inside of 37 seconds.
Hello, little pop out.
Still on his feet, Andy Navarez goes inside the 30-yard line with 30 seconds to go. Stevens has a couple of timeouts if they want to burn it. Coach, come on, let us score.
They're trying, they're hurrying it up. Take a shot. Ethan Gonzalez rip one, just a sophomore.
He's going to throw the fade. Got his man. Ball hung up and incomplete. Stops the clock with 6 seconds to go. Frank Bustamante, the intended receiver. The real heroes tonight, the guys on the camera crew who are out in the elements, Arthur and Bryce and Rick and Ski and Sean, Michael and JJ. Man, those guys have it. They're out there in the heat at the beginning of the season. They're out there in the cold at the end of the season. And we saw them tonight just being drenched and still being pros, getting the best shots.
Andy Narvaez, that's a heck of a run, young man.
Last play of the game. That'll do it. And the O'Connor Panthers will shut out Stevens. Their 8th win of the year. They'll move into the playoffs next week. And they'll probably be looking at the Reagan Rattlers for the 2nd year in a row in round 1. We've got a lot more to talk about here before we sign off. We're going to hand out our Monarch trophies to Coach David Molesky and our player of the game to I Wonder Who. Zach will do that when we come back. And we'll wrap up our 11th season of Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights presented by John Wayne Service Company. Final score here from Ferris Stadium, O'Connor 31 and Stevens nothing.
Welcome to the Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights postgame show, presented by John Wayne Service Company.
Welcome back, Dub Ferris Stadium, 31-0 O'Connor over Stevens. Stevens now needs Warren to beat Clark or for John Jay to lose tomorrow night for them to go to the playoffs. O'Connor's in. They're the big school representative from 28-6A, and they are the recipients of our Monarch trophies as we send it down to Zach Hedrick. Zach?
Thanks, Don. Appreciate it. Here with the O'Connor Panthers victorious tonight. Hey. Hey, need you to say. All right, so be honest. Who's ready for some dry clothes? Show of hands. Hey, first we need a handout player of the game. Where's Mr. Zion Taylor? Come on up here. Where is he? There he is. Zion, great game, man. We got a hat for you and a trophy. Getting his helmet off. So Zion, crazy stat tonight. Out of 123 yards of total offense, you had 125 total yards. I mean, he speaks to the Stevens defense, but man, you were the whole offense tonight.
I guess. Shout out to the linemen that did that dang blocking. Shout out to the receivers. I think it was a team win. It was a team win.
For sure. Well, I mean, what do you tell when you? I mean, it's cold, it's wet tonight. What do you tell your offensive line on a night like this?
Just to push through it and just keep do your assignment and do it right.
So, another finish at the top of the district standings for you guys. You got Reagan next week. How does this game get you ready for the playoffs next week?
It's good. It's gonna be good. Really looking forward to playing them in the playoffs and preparing during practice and off.
Zion, great game tonight again. 125 yards, 3 TDs tonight. Great game. Let's bring in Coach Molesky here real quick. Coach, I mean, pretty good win going into the playoffs tonight.
Oh, it was. You know, there was a lot of things that weren't pretty about it, but, you know, anytime you can win a district football game and shut somebody out in this district, it's always good. Yeah.
Well, and I know it was a tough night for the offense, but, you know, your defense, you know, you got to like that performance, shutting it out, you know, and really providing some scoring opportunities.
Without a doubt. And, you know, that's the great thing about football is there's 3 phases that you have to take into account. And, you know, sometimes on a certain night there may be one that's not playing very well or the other team's doing really well against that phase. And so, you know, we were able to capitalize on some things and, like you said, put our offense in some good situations.
What do you think the odds were of 2 safeties happening in the same game?
Well, what are the odds of it being like 40-something degrees in November with rain sideways? You know, so it was just kind of one of those nights. And, you know, our kids, they kept fighting and found a way to win another district football game.
I know you said you were cold at halftime, but it got to feel a little bit better with a W under your belt. How are you getting ready for Reagan?
Well, the first thing is get warm, get dry and get warm. And then after that, you know, we're gonna prepare for them. We got a couple days to get ready and then get back to work and with the understanding that we're only guaranteed one game, and that's going to be the game that we play next week.
Well, Coach, thanks for the time. We got some hardware for you and your team as well. We'll let you hand that out. Congrats on the W. Your O'Connor Panthers victors tonight. Don and Chuck, back up to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Zach. You can tell the most important priority right now is just to get inside.
Man, I just love, you know, Molesky's one of the toughest guys ever, but he makes no bones about hating the cold.
Man, he was having a hard time getting his words out. His lips were frozen shut.
Look at them all running off the field.
Let's get inside, find a heater, find some towels, and get warm. Hey, right now it's time for our collision of the game, brought to you by Roselle Gardens Wedding and Event Center. How about Big Kevin Cavanaugh dishing out punishment as he's going down the sideline? An offensive guy laying the wood to a couple of defenders. That, our Roselle Gardens collision of the game. We're coming back with more after this. Welcome back. Our final score, O'Connor 31, Stevens nothing. And right now it is time for our O'Connor Teacher Spotlight. Our
Go Public Teacher Spotlight. Brenda Hoffer-Cullum over at OConnor is a math teacher. She teaches the stuff that Chuck and I never learned. Stats and honors algebra.
Oh, Lord, I'm getting high. I was just thinking about it, bro.
Carry the one. She has taught math for over 30 years. Incredible educator most nights of the week, and find her right out of here at football games, basketball games while she's still grading papers, but she wants to be around the kids. She knows all of the athletes by name and number, proud for the school colors, and cheer on all of the athletes in their extracurriculars, and very encouraging. So congratulations to Brenda Hoffer-Cullum of OConnor, our Go Public Teacher Spotlight. Don't forget to vote for the bands. We didn't get to see them tonight because of the weather, but if you're a Stevens High School band fan, you can text band 19 to 44332. OConnor, band 20 to 44332. Again, we've had 20 bands on TNL this year. One's going to walk away with our Children's Hospital of San Antonio $5,000 band grant. And right now, it's time for our play of the night, brought to you by Holy Cross. And it was a special teams night for the OConnor Panthers tonight. Couple of blocks. C.J. Waller recovering one. He was around the football for both of them. Jesse Reyes making a play. And then the young man who got his chance at the end, Eduardo Jimenez. That is our Holy Cross Knights play of the night. We'll be right back.
Our final from Ferris Stadium tonight, it's the OConnor Panthers 31 and the Stevens Falcons nothing. And you just really cannot say enough good things about the job that the OConnor defense did tonight in this ball game. It starts up front with the big nose tackle, Bryson Greer. It's a first-team all-district unanimous selection. Is going to play in our SA Sports All-Star game. Also headed to the Naval Academy to tell you what kind of a young man we're talking about here. But anytime your defense can go out and only allow 3 first downs in an entire football game, and really those last 2 came on the final drive, you've had one heck of a ball game. Obviously, the Stevens defense doing a really good job tonight as well, and they're talented guys up front with Gonzalez, Garcia, and Mejia. Just a really outstanding job by both of these defenses tonight. But again, OConnor with Rogolinski, Greer, and Vaccaro up front, and then Garza, Jennings, Reyes, and Goodman on the second line of defense. McCray, Ornelas, Arguello, and Waller on the back end, and a couple other guys chipping in with turnovers tonight via the interception. OConnor is going into the playoffs with a shutout victory.
All right, time for tonight's final highlights. We showed you this is our play of the night. Special teams coming up big for OConnor tonight. Zion Taylor, even bigger. We talked about his 3 touchdowns and 125 yards on the ground. Not quite 1,000 yards in the regular season for him, but he's knocking on the door. A big pick 6 by Kyler Goodman. Defense was everywhere. Interceptions. Tim McCray had a nice return that led to more points for Zion Taylor. OConnor with Brandeis, the class of this district, and there's not too many better than number 23 in this district, and Taylor had another big-time night. Game kind of got away from the special teams for Stevens, but that defense from OConnor coming up big. 3 or 4 interceptions on the night. Gavin Mack with this one. And more, Zion Taylor, as OConnor nailed the coffin shut here on a very cold and windy and rainy night. Safety to add insult to injury as OConnor rolls 31-0. We're coming back to wrap it up next. Welcome back. Wrapping up our 11th season of Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights presented by John Wayne Service Company. And Chuck, it's been a fun ride, man. It went quick this year, did it?
It always seems to go quick, right?
It flew by.
It always does. It is hard to believe that here we are. It seemed like we were just starting this thing all over again, and here we are
signing off for another season.
It's going to be fun to watch what happens in the playoffs. We'd like to thank our title sponsor, Taco Cabana. It's Taco Cabana Thursday Night Lights. Had a lot of fun with them. John Wayne, our presenting sponsor. We've had the player of the game and the player of the week. Vulcan Materials Company has been a long-time sponsor. Of course, the Lockaway Storage halftime show. And the Gold's Gym First Down. Lots of sponsors who've been with us for a couple of years now. The U.S. Army sponsoring our player profiles. The San Antonio Police Department with our kickoffs. The Go Public Smile Cams. We couldn't make this happen without these folks. Dream SA, Gamez Law Firm, Pregame Weather with Alex, the Roselle Gardens Collision of the Game. I'd like to thank them. Holy Cross, the Knights coming up with the play of the night. And the Children's Hospital of San Antonio, responsible for that $5,000 band grant. Shelter Pro, Associated Collision Center, San Antonio Sports, CPS Energy, been with us now for many years. San Antonio Sports also sponsoring Beyond the Game, which you can see every week on Max Sports and Sports Sunday.
Yeah, with the good help of the friends and our buddies at Methodist Hospital.
Yeah, Russ Bookbinder and company doing a great job over there. Brand new San Antonio International Airport. They've done a great job making that place spiffy lately. Thanks to them. And Monarch Trophy, who provides the trophies that we get every single week that we hand out to the kids. They've been with us since the very beginning. And we'd like to thank Monarch Trophy for being with us for all 11 seasons here on TNL. We are not quite done for the season because we still got the San Antonio Sports All-Star Game. That's Saturday, January 4th at the Dome, where you'll see over 100 of the best players in San Antonio going head-to-head in one final game for these seniors as they get ready to move on to the next level or move on to college or the military or whatever they decide to do. And again, Chuck and I want to thank our executive producer, our boss, Dean Radliff, for his vision to start TNL and to put it on every week as a community service. Our director, Brian Watts, and the incomparable Chris Kotfus that we talked about earlier. And all the guys manning the cameras, Arthur and Bryce and Rick and Ski and Sean and Michael and JJ, Ryan Carter on replay, and our associate producer, Rick Zamora, David Lowe on audio, and Patrick West on graphics, and Anthony, the bug operator, and Dave Tenney on video, and Eric Armenta, and Oscar Zamora, and our Red Hat Steve, and John Gonzalez, and Mike Guerrero, our chief engineer, Jack Green and Carlos Sanchez, who are shooting the pep rallies for us, and the person that's making it all happen from the sales side, Felicia Pastrano, and a lot of people back on Northwest Loop 410 who put TNL on the air. And especially I want to thank my partner, Chuck Mikatinik, who does such great research talking to these coaches every week. The unbelievable Mark Kusenberger, who knows much more about high school football than Chuck and I would ever begin
100%,
to try
bro.
to know. And intern Jeffrey on spotting all year long has done a fantastic job pointing out the guys to us and, again, trying to make us look like we know what we're doing, even though it's pretty obvious we don't. But we have fun doing it anyway. Chuck, I'll let you have the last word.
Don, it's been a pleasure. Love everybody. And lastly, we'd like to thank the viewers at home for checking us out every week. Muchas gracias, amigos.
As we leave you tonight, Chris Kotfus with some of the best of TNL over the years.